Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn maritime studies, today the Atlantic Ocean, and after we've done it, we're going to do neckstretching. And if you participate in the neckstretching, then it's at your own risk. So the Atlantic Ocean, the world's second largest ocean, the Atlantic, covers an area of 81 million square kilometers, including its subsidiary seas, the Mediterranean and the Caribbean. Okay, the Mediterranean is here on the left, South Europe, and the Mediterranean here, in the middle between North and South America. Okay, 80 million square kilometers, second largest ocean of the Earth. Its depth ranges from 200 meters on the continental shelves to more than 9,000 meters into Puerto Rico and South Sandwich Trenches, and has an average of 3,300 meters. Okay, Puerto Rico, we're here in the middle between North and South America and the Caribbean. Puerto Rico trenches, and the other thing was the South Sandwich Trenches. Sandwich Trench here, southwest of South America. There by Falkland Islands, a bit more south than the Falkland Islands. Not much. Okay, it has a maximum depth of 9,000 meters in Puerto Rico. And also at the Sandwich Islands, south of South America, and it has an average of 3,000 meters depth. The ocean has great basins, such as those of Brazil and Angola, separated by the S-shaped Atlantic Ridge, which is part of a large mountain range extending for thousands of kilometers across the major ocean basins. Now I have a problem. I don't know what basins are, so I couldn't understand the sentence. Let's read it again and try to go around it. The ocean has great basins, so let's say something great, something of it, and such as those of Brazil and Angola. What can have Brazil in South America? And Angola, that is here in Africa, it must be. Is it on that? I don't know where this exactly is. Angola. I think it's there. Gulf of Guyana? I don't know exactly where. The ocean has great basins, such as of Brazil and Angola, separated with the S-shaped Atlantic Ridge. I don't know where it is. Mid-Atlantic Ridge, we're right here, in the middle of the picture. Angola Basin, there, Angola Basin. So we're having here, probably that it has something to do with that. That is the Brazilian big basin, and there is then somewhere Angola. And the Angola Basin, here's the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, essentially. And here's Atlantic and Arctic Ridge. Brazilian Basin, Angola Basin. Okay, I don't know what a basin is, but they write it there. No, it has great basins there and there, and S-shaped Atlantic Ridge. Somewhere. Which is part of a large mountain range extending for thousands of kilometers across the major ocean basins. I'm right a bit thinking about it. Where do they come from, these ocean basins? What if they were not underwater, on land, for a few 100 million years ago? Were there then already these mountain formations? Because they look differently, the mountain formations under the water for once, when they are on Earth, on land. These ones here on land with Rocky Mountains and the ends, they are just a little bit there, more or less. But the ones on the ground, they are really more like the ends, completely going thousands of kilometers in one line, basically. Now the question is basically, were they separated, if they were over land and animals were living there, were they then really separating differently than today's mountain ranges, parcels, or into I don't know what it's called, into different places, basically? Were they more separating than today's mountains? Okay, let's see. It is at these mid-ocean ridges that new ocean crust is formed, causing ocean floor spreading and continental drift. Okay, they mean at these places there are different things. There's Brazilian basin, and there's the Angola basin, and at these places there is drifting of tectonic plates. Volcanic activity along the ridges gives rise to islands, and most of the islands in the Atlantic, such as the Azores, they must be, I think they are here, next to Africa. And Ascensions and St. Helena. I actually don't know where it is. Don't know where it is. St. Helena here. There, south of the Angola Basin. Namibia, there are, so, St. Helena are of volcanic origin. There are, however, relatively few islands in the Atlantic in comparison with those in other oceans. Okay, there are islands in the Atlantic along these basins where the tectonic plates are coming together. That is here in front of Africa. I don't know what this country is. Here the Azores, I think we are here. No, here the Azores. No, no. So these are the Canaries. These are the Azores on the height of Spain or Portugal, south of Portugal, and they're the Canaries. And we're looking here. I forgot where it was. Where we're having this satellite. With an average temperature of 4 degrees Celsius and a salinity of 4.9%, the Atlantic is the warmest and saltiest ocean. That thing is just 4 degrees. Okay, 4 degrees. The Atlantic has only few islands compared with other ones, the Pacific or the Indian Ocean, and it has a temperature of 4 degrees and a salinity of 34.9%. Does that mean that actually the Atlantic has a salt percentage of 39%? Does it mean 1/3 of it would be salt? Imagine what amount of salt that would be. How much of salt the Earth would have. Okay, maybe where's the salt in the Earth? Is it all or most of it at the top? And like the iron is mostly completely in the core. Is it that most of the salt is in the top? Because then it would be okay if 1/3 of the total volume of the Atlantic Ocean would be salt. But imagine how much salt it would be. It is also the drainage area of many of the world's great rivers, including the Zaire, I don't know where that is, the Amazon that is here in Southern America. It goes, I think, to the north, I guess, to there. And if you look closely, you can see it there. And the Mississippi that's here in the United States, and I know it comes out in Louisiana, I think, actually. Maybe also Mississippi, but it comes also in Louisiana. No, it comes here from the middle over multiple. All these rivers have, I looked it up, have all the same name as the states. You have 5-6 tributaries, and then the Mississippi down through Louisiana down. And also the Rhine, I don't know where it. Oh, yes, I know where it goes. The Rhine that is here. I don't know where it starts. Exactly. It must be north of the Alps, technically. I think I know where it starts, but I don't know what lake is called in English. It starts when it goes north through Germany, along Germany, France, and then I don't know where it comes into the ocean. It flows from the Alps basically north, then somewhere from France, Germany, into the coast. Which carry debris and salts from the bordering continents. Okay, these big rivers. Zaire, where is the Zaire? There by Rwanda, by the Lake Victoria, in the center of Africa. Zaire, Amazon, Mississippi, and Rhine. These are the 4 ones of the 4 continents. We're having here Mississippi of North America, Amazon of South America, Zaire is the big one in Africa. I never heard of it before. And the Rhine is the big one in Germany, France, I don't know, probably Belgium, other countries also, and Europe. And they're carrying debris and salts. The surface waters rotate in closed circulating systems, known as gyres, flowing clockwise in the North Atlantic and anti-clockwise in the South Atlantic. Now, are there now 2 circles, or is there one big circle going like that, the surface water? I would just guess, no, there are 2. Because of the rotation of the Earth, how the Earth is rotating, it would make sense if there are 2. But maybe not. And the surface waters rotate in closed circulatory systems known as gyres, flowing clockwise in the North Atlantic and anti-clockwise in the South Atlantic. Near the center of the North Atlantic gyre is the calm, very saline Sargasso Sea. That is the reason why the ships going down to Africa. Why ships, when most ships don't sail, if they have steam or whatever they have, with oil or whatever, when they're going directly. But the sailing ships going down through Africa and then over. And the reason is the Sargasso Sea, and it is known for its floating brown seaweed kept at the surface by small grape-like floats. What? Near the center of the North Atlantic gyre is the calm, very saline Sargasso Sea, known for its floating brown seaweed kept at the surface by small grape-like floats. Whatever, there are some things in the water. we don't have time. Let's go. Because there are only weak currents in the Sargasso Sea, there is no mixing of cold water with warm surface waters, which, being lighter, float about 1 meter higher than the waters of the American seaboard. Do we say now that the water in the center of the Atlantic Ocean, in the middle, the Sargasso Sea, whatever it was, is warmer because it has now big mixture with colder water from the depths, and because it is warmer, it has a less big density, it is more expanded, and that makes it having less mass, and therefore the Sargasso Sea is higher than the water somewhere else in the ocean. There is no mixing of cold water with the warm surface water, which, being lighter, float about 1 meter higher than the waters of the American seaboard. It could be. I read something about the big thing in the Indian Ocean where it is a place, I read it a couple of months ago, and there is more massive material on the sides of a place. So in the middle there's the ocean floor and there's just light soil, and then on the outside there's much more heavy stones and rocks, and they're pulling the water to it, so that in the middle of the Indian Ocean there's a place where the water is 100 meters lower than on the rest of the ocean, because water is pulled to the sides by big rock formations. One of the currents which make up the North Atlantic gyre is the Gulf Stream, which transports warm water at the rate of 100 cubic meters per second north and east from Florida. Let's make a second part. That was the maritime part to the Atlantic Ocean. If you were here for maritime part, you can go directly to the next part of maritime studies. We will continue with the second part of the Atlantic Ocean. We will do now the Neckstretching. If you stay here and participate in the Neckstretching, then it's very honest. We are having a good and stable stance, and we're doing Corridor Tower. Breathe in and reach with, if you participate with this very honest. And breathe in and lift with, and reach with the fingers as far as you can. Lift the arms up. Again down, and reach with the fingertips as far as you can. And reach again. And down. And now with feet standing together. And breathe in and lift your front. Reach up. Back and behind. With the fingertips. Reach with the fingertips down. Reach as far in front as you can. Back and down. Now have the feet standing shoulder width wide apart. Tall up, shoulders back, breathe in. And breathe out and turn the head slowly over to one side, only as far as it goes. Then bring your chin down onto the clavicle. Breathe again in. And out. Lift the gaze again, breathe in. Turn the head over to the other side, chin down onto the clavicle, then breathe slowly out. Breathe in, lift the gaze, turn it back in the middle. Over to the other side again, turn up, shoulders back, calmly breathe in. Breathe halfway out, and circle the head over to the other side. Breathe again in. And breathe halfway out, and then circle the head over to the other side again, and back into the middle. Now have the palms of the hands together and the elbows together. Breathe in and reach high. And out and down. In and up again. Out and down. And now the hands back, breathe in. And out, reach your front. In and back. Out of the front. Now have feet standing again together. Breathe in and lift the arms up. And breathe out, lean back and drop your shoulder blades together. Breathe in, lift the arms. And breathe out, lean back, drop your shoulder blades together. Breathe in and up. And out and down, drop your shoulder blades together. In and up. Over, cross the arms and intertwine the fingers, reach high. And breathe out, reach your front all over back. In and up. Over, cross the other way around, breathe in, reach high. And out, reach in front, hold in the back. In and up. Out, lean with long arms back. In and up. Out and down. Breathe in, lift the arms up. And out again down. Breathe in the arms up. Bring the hands to touch and lower them down to heart center. No, that was a shortened. Neckstretching. I thank you very much and until next time.